video. So this is going to be my top 10 books of 2023. I have read 67 books so far, going on 69/70 because I'm filming this video on Christmas Eve and I plan on reading at least 2 more. So this video is going to consist of 2 sections. Section 1 is quick review. I'm gonna go through every single book I read this year and give you my rating on a scale of like 1 star to 5 stars. And I've written like mini reviews for everyone. Some of them are just like 5 stars, amazing, and some of them are like 1 or 2 sentences. But I'm gonna be reading you those short reviews for every single book. And then I have here a stack of books of my top 10 books. And I'm gonna go through all 10 of them. So, yeah. Please let me know in the comments what your favorite books of 2023 were. And what books you are most excited for in 2024. I am always looking for recommendations and I would love to talk books with you. And also, if you've read any of the books that I'm talking about in this video, feel free to tell me your opinion. Feel free to let me know how you like them. Again, I love to talk books. And let's get right into it. I haven't written down the authors for the books, but if I remember them, I'm gonna say them. First was Babel by R.F. Kuang, 4 out of 5 stars. And I wrote, the pain. Then The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, 5 out of 5 stars. Help, I loved this. The Watchmaker of Filigree Street, 4 out of 5 stars. Ending was really good. Bloodmarked by Tracy Dion, 3.5 stars. Second half made up for the first half, but still so much drama. Kind of disappointing. Carry On by Rainbow Rowell, I think 1.5 stars. Hated beginning and end. Middle was okay. Little Women, 2.5 stars. Nice but boring. A Scatter of Light by Melinda Lowe, 5 out of 5 stars. So beautiful, I really felt for Aria. Then I read something called Charlotte's Traumfeld, which translates to Charlotte's Dream Horse, which is basically a children's series, and I read part 1, 2, and 3. Number 11, The Lost Future of Pepper Harrow, 4 out of 5 stars, really good. Der Rabbiner ohne Schuh, which translates to The Rabbi Without Shoes. It was like kind of a humorous approach on different religions, and yeah, 3 stars. Oh well. Inselmord und Krabbencocktail, which translates to Island Murder and Crab Cocktail. 3 stars. Nice. The Great Gatsby, 3, a classic masterpiece. Die Geschichte der Bienen, the history, the story of bees, 3.5 stars. Sometimes weird, ending meh, otherwise great. The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon, 5 stars. Brilliant, show-stopping, but a little too long or confusing at times. A Million to One by Atiba Chaikida, 3.5. Ending was brilliant, but the pacing was a little off throughout the book. Gear Breakers, 3.5. Generally good. World building was a bit meh, too many dramatic speeches. Sorry, Bro. No, I don't remember the author, I'm sorry. 3.5. Really good and sweet. She writes complicated feelings very well. -1 for the conflict because Nari was a bit of a bad person. Also, I adjust adjusted my rating after reading some reviews, because at the time I didn't really comprehend it, but this book handles genocide like really bad, so I would not recommend it, and looking back I would not buy it again. Again, a children's book, Pferdeparadies Bahnhof, which translates to Pony Paradise Bahnhof. It's like a series of horse books, because I was a little bit of a horse girl growing up. 21 Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. 3 out of 5 stars. Good, but didn't grip me 100%. Let's see if I get around to part 2. Spoiler, I didn't. Unseelie, 4.5 stars. Very good. Ending was a cliffhanger, but I loved the fairy stuff, which I didn't expect. Beyond the Wand by Tom Felton. 5 stars. Brilliant. First autobiography I really enjoyed. I love the way he writes. Dead Poet Society. 3.5. Quite good. Very frustrating to read as a student myself, but very happy that things have changed a little. The Unbroken by C.L. Clarke. 4.5 stars. OMG, I want to hug Doran and strangle Luca. Not to death, just a little bit. Daisy Jones and the Six. 5 stars. Amazing. Ending was a little anticlimactic, but it was all worth it, and it fit the story. The Daughters of Itzdihar. 3.5. The ending. OMFG. I need the next part ASAP, but not mind-blowing. The Secret History by Donna Tartt. 4.5. What did I do to deserve this? This Is How You Lose the Time War. 3 points. Good, but didn't grip me. Mao's Last Dancer. 5 stars. Beautiful, gripping, breathtaking. Tod im dünnen Gras, which is death Dünnen Gras is the grass that grows on dunes, so it's like death in dune grass. It's a German crime story that takes place on an island. 2 stars. Meh. Wir Kinder vom Bahnhof Zoo, which is Christiane F. 5 stars. Hard, but unbelievably captivating and very important. Malibu Rising. 4 stars. Fun, but not extraordinarily great. The Battle Drum. 4.5. Great, but not as mind-blowing as the first part. And this actually is probably my biggest disappointment of the year. I know I rated it 4.5 stars, so very high, but the first part, The Final Strive, was like my forever favorite book of 2022, and the second part just could not compare, and it just, I don't know, it's not even in my top 10, so that's very disappointing that the first part is like this amazing book, and the second part is like not even in the top 10. 35, Bunny by Mona Awad. What the F? 36, The Lies of the Ajunko. 4, wonderful. Tell the Wolves I'm Home. 5 stars, screaming, crying, throwing up. The Neighbor Favor. 5 stars, I love it. Knowledge of Beauty, which was a Marauders fanfiction that I read on AO3. I Want to Die, Wolfstar Face is in full effect now. Yes, it was. The Picture of Dorian Gray. 3 stars, did not disappoint. Lockwood & Co., The Screaming Staircase. 5 stars, I need the next part ASAP. Lockwood & Co., The Dagger in the Desk, which is part 1.5. 4 stars, a little short, but still great. Normal People. 1 star, why did I do this to myself? The Do's and Donuts of Love by Adiba Jagieda. 4.5 stars, really sweet. Scottish Murders, 4 stars, interesting. The Sun and the Void, 4 stars, captivating and full of rich details, if a bit repetitive. Practice makes perfect, 4 stars, very sweet. And I keep recommending this to friends because I think that they'll like it, but yeah, it was a really sweet book. Arthur and Teddy are coming out, 3.5, sweet but forgettable, and also I hated Ben. Good Omens, which was a reread, so still 4 stars, still awesome. Legends and Lattes, 4.5, enchanting. I don't know why I gave it 4.5 and not 5. Imogen, obviously, 4.5, so cute and lovely. The Wizards of Once, which was an audiobook that I listened to because it's read by David Tennant, 3.5, cute, also David Tennant. How to Train Your Dragon, audiobook, 3 stars. How to Be a Pirate, audiobook, 3 stars. How to Speak Dragonese, audiobook, 3 stars. Every single one of them is read by David Tennant, which was the precise reason why I listened to them. And I love How to Train Your Dragon, the movie series. But the books, I don't know, like I listened because it was read by David Tennant, but story-wise, yeah, I mean, it's a kid's story. It's not my age group, so it's okay. Ninth House by Lee Bardugo, 5 stars, slow start but then amazing. Hellbent, also by Lee Bardugo, it's the sequel, 4 stars, amazing but a little too much all at once. Sorcery of Thorns, 5 stars, magical and exciting, plus cute love story, perfect. Mysteries of Thorn Manor, which was the sequel, 5 stars, sweet companion novel. Number 60, Carmilla, 3 stars, quite good. Highly suspicious and unfairly cute, 5 stars, so cute, and the banter was awesome. Ace, 4 stars, eye-opening but dragged in some parts. Bookshops and Bonedust, 5 stars, stakes not as low but book just as amazing as the first part. If We Were Villains, 4 stars, Act 1 and 2, Chef's Kiss, Act 3 to 5, Chef's Miss, overall good. Vergiss mein nicht 2, Forget Me Not 2, sequel to a German book, 3.5, charming and magical as always. As always meaning as all the other books by the same author. It's by Kerstin Gier, who wrote the Sapphire Ruby trilogy. I don't know how well known it is in English-speaking countries, but she's very well known in Germany for her teen books. Lockwood & Co. The Whispering Skull, 4 stars, really good and captivating, but something was missing. Lockwood & Co. The Hollow Boy, 5 stars, just the right amount of spooky. That was number 67. And number 68 and 69 are gonna be Lockwood & Co. Part 4 and 5. Part 4, no, I actually don't know what they're called. But yeah, that was it. You can also, if you're interested, I'll try to link it down below. I have a Goodreads profile, and I'm also on Reado, which is a German site that was recommended to me by a subscriber. So if you're watching this, hi, I'm in Reado now. I link both of them down below. I'm not like super active on either of them, but I have written some reviews. So if you're interested in some more thoughts on books, yeah, feel free to add me. Okay, now on to the top 10 books. First I want to mention some honorary mentions, and that is Imogen, obviously, and Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute. I couldn't decide between the last This is a cutesy little romance about two introverted bookworms. And basically, shy, bookish Lily Green finds escapism in her correspondence with her favorite author until he ghosts her. Months later, Lily seeks a date to her sister's wedding, and the perfect person to help her is Nick Brown, her charming, attractive new neighbor. Little does she know that Nick is that very same fantasy author. So, yeah. I gave this 5 stars out of 5, and there's a little bit of miscommunication going on, which is my arch nemesis when it comes to tropes, but I didn't mind it. And it's just very, very cute, and the characters are very relatable. So if you're looking for a light read with complicated characters that have complicated feelings but still try their best and also are introverted bookworms, this is your book. Place 9 is Tell the Wolves I'm Home by Carol Rivka Brunt. And this is about June, who is very close to Finn, her uncle. Unfortunately, in the very beginning, we learn that Finn has died of a mysterious illness that June's mother can barely bring herself to discuss. Which, I don't know if it's a spoiler. Is it a spoiler? Wait, let me... Yeah, okay. It says so in the very first paragraph that he died of AIDS. And the book introduces Toby, a strange man who appears at the funeral and later on contacts June, and they begin to spend time together. And it's a very heartfelt story about family and grief, and June is not an easy person to like, and I've read some reviews where the readers took issue with exactly that. But I mean, she's 14 and she just lost the person who's dearest to her, so it's by no means an easy read. But I don't cry easily when reading books, and this is the only book that made me cry this year. And it's also about June and her relationship with her sister. And yeah, just June finding herself again, or finding herself in general. Yeah. Tell the Wolves I'm Home is a tender story of love lost and found, an unforgettable portrait of the way compassion can make us whole again. Yeah. And also, just in case if you're wondering, no, there is nothing going on between 14-year-old June and adult Toby. There's nothing going on, okay? You don't... No, nothing inappropriate. Alright. And my mini review for that one was screaming, crying, throwing up. Just... yeah. Okay. This is a fantasy world, and we have 4 perspectives. We have the bodyguard of a queen, female bodyguard of a queen. We have the male best friend of the same queen. We have a middle-aged man whose importance I've forgotten, and I didn't like his perspective. And we have someone from a different country who's training to be a dragon rider. This is 800 pages filled with captivating world building, interconnected stories with a lot of emotions and a lot of feelings. And it's just so amazing. I have the second part, or the published after this but takes place before this, so the prequel, lying on my shelf, but I haven't gotten around to it, unfortunately. It's been here since March. Okay. Then number 7, a German book. Wir Kinder vom Bahnhof Zoo. Us children from Station Zoo, more widely known in English as the author's name, Christiane F. Which is a book written by, she dictated and they wrote it down, written by a young girl who was 16 at the time, and had been deep into substance abuse, using heroin, and Station Zoo used to be a street in the city where they went to sell themselves to make money for drugs. This is a book, my parents had to read this in school, it was mandatory, but it's not an easy read, quite the contrary actually. You spent 300 pages with a child who's descending into substance abuse, and that's not fun to read, but it's so important, and just you read it and it blows your mind. So if you have not read this, I would definitely recommend it, even if non-fiction is not generally your cup of tea. Please try this. Yeah. Number 6, the second German book. Der Uhrmacher in der Filigree Street. The Watchmaker of Filigree Street. It's an English book, but I read it in German. Takes place in Victorian England, and we start with Nathaniel, and Nathaniel is gifted a watch that warns him just minutes mostly by necessity, because he's also one of the suspects, because how would he have the watch if he didn't know about the attack? So and there's one detail that's not possible in the English version, and that's there's a character in here from Japan, and now I don't know how accurate this is, but this character explains that in Japan you use a person's last name to refer to them unless you're like really, really close. So that's what Daniel does, and Daniel talks to him and using his last name. So his name is Kaita Mori, and he always says Mori. And in German there's like the formal you and there's the informal you, and he always uses the formal version of you when talking to him. And then there's one scene where he switches from Mori to Kaita, so he switches to the first name, and he also switches to the informal you, which in English is obviously not possible, but in German it just adds so much intimacy to that scene. And that's the single reason why I am so glad that I read this in German, just for that one scene, just for that level of intimacy. And I've also read the second part, The Lost Future of Peppa Harrow, in English because it wasn't available in German. But the first part is just... yeah. Okay, we're already in the top 5. And number 5 is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I'm sure we've all heard of this book at this point. But this is about Evelyn Hugo, who is a star, who's also well known for the fact that she was married 7 times. And Evelyn Hugo contacts the protagonist, who's a reporter, journalist, to give her an interview and to write her biography. And she's like, okay, I have never told anyone my life story, but I will tell it to you. So this book is written partly from the journalist's perspective and partly from Evelyn's perspective as she recounts her life to the journalist. If you have not read this book, what are you doing? I've also read Daisy Jones and the Six and Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid, but neither of them were as amazing as this one, in my taste. Please let me know if Carrie Soto is back is worth reading. So far I've not picked it up because it's not like the blurb doesn't really interest me. But it was the same with this book, and look where it is now in my top 10 book. So please let me know if Carrie Soto is back compares to this one, and maybe I'll pick it up. Okay, we are nearing the top. Number 4, Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. Amazing. This takes place in a world where books are alive. And they're called grimoires. I'm sorry. Oh, it's there it is. And they're classified, like class 1 to 10. 10 being the most dangerous. And our protagonist Elizabeth grew up in one a love story in there, but it's not the focus of this book. So don't let this put you off if you don't enjoy romance. And this was on my TBR for the longest time, and I'm so glad that I've read it. Second part is, well, the second part is a novella, companion novella. Just now we are getting into the top three. The top three, beginning with Legends and Lattes, and also the second part, Bookshops and Bonedust. This focuses on Viv, who is an orc who has retired from battle to open a coffee shop. It's been described generally as low stakes fantasy, so there's not a lot happening. And now, I love fantasy, but I've heard people who normally don't enjoy fantasy say that this was a very good book. So if you don't like fantasy, maybe give this a try still. Just Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldry. As I said, there's not a lot happening, but it's just a sweet, cozy read. Perfect for winter, because it just makes you feel warm inside. And Bookshops and Bonedust, the prequel, is not as low stakes, but still very good. It takes place before Legends and Lattes, but I would still recommend starting with this one. And in Bookshops and Bonedust, we meet Viv during her time, during her active duty time. Except she's been injured and needs to rest for a couple of weeks. But again, start with this one. But then again, if you haven't read this book, what are you doing? Okay. Now, number 2 is Lockwood & Co., the whole series. Everyone say thank you to my friend from uni for recommending this to me. And I've picked the last part as a representative. This is Lockwood & Co., The Empty Grave, part 5. But the first part is Lockwood & Co., The Screaming Staircase, and obviously you should start with that one. This is an alternative reality, basically, where London has been taken over by ghosts, kind of. So there are agencies of children, because only children can see ghosts. Adults can't see them anymore, who are trying to fight them off. And Lockwood & Co. is one such agency, consisting of Anthony Lockwood, Lucy Carlyle, from whose perspective the books are written, and George Gubbins. They are one of the smallest agencies in London, and together they try to solve cases and try to discover the reason why the ghosts are existing. Look how well this fits the color theme. There are 5 parts in this series, plus a 6th companion novella that takes place between part 1 and 2. And that's also the order I read it in, so 1, 1.5, 2, 3. I'm currently on part 4 and I have not read part 5, but I expect to love it. And I think in part 5 we find out why this is all happening, and we solve the problem at the very root of the problem. That's what I'm hoping. might look over your shoulder to see if there's something going on, but it's not pull out your hair, bite off your nails spooky, just a little bit, just cozy spooky. And it's by Jonathan Stroud, by the way, and it's also full of British humor. So if you're looking for a ghost story, might I recommend this? Or might I recommend number 1, the best book of the year, Ninth House and Hellbent by Bardugo. This is also about ghosts, but it's very different. For one, nobody can see them. You have to drink a special potion to be able to see them, except for the protagonist, for some reason, and that's the mystery of it. She can see the ghosts. And she is the sole survivor of an unsolved crime. And the first part accompanies her in college, where she's part of a society called Ninth House. That watches over 8 other societies that dabble in forbidden magic. And this is the continuation. The first book was 5 stars for me, and this one only 4. Mainly because it felt like there was too much happening at once in this one. I'm very much looking forward to part 3, because I think it's supposed to be a trilogy. But there was so much happening in this book that I don't know what she could be planning for the next part. This was like the opposite of second book syndrome. This was like normally the second book in a trilogy is like a filler and not much happens. This was the opposite. There was so much happening that it was too much. But still, I ate this up. I inhaled it. Favorite book of the year, both of them. It was a close tie between this and Lockwood & Co. But in the end I decided to put it this way around. The ghosts in this are very different from Lockwood & Co. But again, if you're looking for a ghost story, this one has a lot more supernatural elements than just ghosts, but yeah. And in the second part they go down into hell, literally, but I won't say why. Okay, now there's just 2 more things to say. 2 more. 1, what am I currently reading? After Lockwood & Co., I'm gonna read Yellow Face by R.F. Kuang. It's on my shelf already. And I started He Who Drowned the World in September, and I still have not completed it. I'm still on page like 120. So that's my plan. I need to complete it. I don't know why it's taking me so long. I'm enjoying the book, but still I can't get myself to read more. And the second thing is, what am I most excited for next year? I am most excited for The Ending Fire, which is the 3rd part of Sarah El-Arifi's The Final Strife, The Battle Drum, The Ending Fire. The Ending Fire is the last part. I'm also excited for The Lotus Empire, which is part 3 of Tasha Zuri's The Jasmine Throne, The Oleander Sword, The Lotus Empire. So 2 trilogies that I will complete next year, hopefully. Or this year. It's this year. And also Wayward. I don't know who wrote it, but It's been out for a couple of months now, but I'm waiting for the paperback to release in Germany so I can buy it. So I can buy the cheap paperback instead of the expensive one. Anyway, please tell me what you've been reading and what you're excited to read as the year goes on. I will continue to make book content. I will continue to update you on the books I've been reading, but this is it for now. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Maybe you're already asleep